The estate, wagon, or shooting brake is a car full of legendary status, something that demands respect. So if you're gonna do one, it has to be something to look at, something to drive, and something special. And Genesis might just have pulled it off with this, the G70 shooting brake.
And this car, as spec'd with the innovation patch, sunroof, and a few other options, is around £50,000, but it starts at £40,000. This car has 465 litres in the back, which is up from about 330 in the saloon, and it's a very, very different design. It's got a very muscular, athletic look. As you go down the side here, we've got strong lines. You can see the creases, accentuated a lot, of course, by this matte finish. We've got the sunroof here, which I have open, which gives a lot of light to the inside. And at the back here, we also have a sporty spoiler as well. And this is a solid piece of glass around the side here, again, adding to the sporty look, even though this is actually the luxury version of the car with the 18-inch wheels. Let's talk about the powertrain. So there are actually two options. There's petrol and there's diesel. On the diesel version, you get 197 horsepower and over 400 Newton meters of torque. And on the petrol version, you get two versions. You get 194 horsepower on the premium line, and then on the luxury line, which this is, and the sports line, you have a 241 horsepower petrol engine. They all have an 8-speed transmission, and also you'll notice these struts. There are struts across the engine bay adding to the rigidity. The petrol version feels a lot more responsive to me, and it makes a nicer sound because there is actually an option to make more noise with that. But overall, this is a very muscular and athletic car, as I keep saying. I've partnered with Exchange My Car to give you a great deal on your car. You can get a price for your car or part exchange it with Exchange My Car, which is the smart way to sell your car. With Exchange My Car, they will give you the price that you were quoted as long as you're accurate in your description. They will arrange for somebody to come and collect it on a truck, and they will pay you before you let them leave with a car. You'll get the money first. Plus, you can part exchange if you want to against over 80,000 cars from reputable dealers, and they will even settle your finance for you. And if you have a van, you can also trade it in or sell it to exchangemycar.com. At the front here, it looks very, very similar to the saloon. There are a few differences because this is the luxury line. It's got a shiny metallic grille. The lower end is blacked out, just like on the sport line. Obviously, we got the quad LEDs, I should say, because there's two on each side. This matches the front of the design of the car. The shield represents the grille, and the wings represent the lights at the front here. Again, very athletic, very aggressive looking. I really like the look of this. I had a few people comment and say it looks a bit like a Chrysler. To me, I still think it looks like it's got a Bentley design at the front because it was designed by the same designer who designed the Bentley Continental, and it has a look of an Audi and an Alfa Romeo mixed together on the rest of the car. So I really, really like the design of this car. We talked about the extra space at the back, so let's go and have a look now. An estate is all about the space at the back. So how much space is there? So the first thing I know, a little cool little quirk, is the button to open the boot is actually on the wiper blade. Anyway, we press it here and we open up like this. And there are 465 litres behind the rear seats and 1,165 with the rear seats down. There is a little shelf here which you can pull out, and then you can also put the seats down by pressing the buttons here from inside. And then, like I said, you've got over 1,100 litres of space back here, which is a lot of space. You can fit anything in. You might ask the question, can I fit my dog back here? Because of the sloping roof line, I would say it'll be a bit of a squash and it won't be very comfortable for them unless you put the back seats down. What about the parcel shelf? Two parts to it. There's this bit here and there's this bit here. We can pull this out quite easily. We can put down these seats at the back for that full throughput space. There is, of course, a small compartment here for storing some bits. And I mean, when I say small, I mean like really small. And then we've got our little nets on the side here. We also have some tether points and some hooks as well. So there's quite a lot of space back here, and really, really nice attention to detail. There is the little skid plates here at the back here, which stop the car from getting scratched. Obviously, this has got an electric tailgate, just like the saloon. So let's talk about the design now. At the rear of the G70 shooting brake, we have this sporty spoiler, which you've seen, that single piece of glass I mentioned. The button to open the boot is on the windscreen wiper blade for some strange reason, but a very interesting quirk. We've got the Genesis logo, we've got the spec and the engine, and we've got some changes to the lights. So we've still got the quad tail lights at the back here, but now there are lights inside the actual raising part of the boot. So interesting there. And then we've got our 360 surround camera system. We've got our lights here, which are projected onto the ground where the car power reverses, just like on the G70 Saloon, which are very, very cool. And then we've got big oval exhaust. Now, just like the Audi RS3, these aren't actually attached to the exhaust. The exhaust actually is behind here. It's actually a clever idea because it means if you damage the back of your car, you're not going to damage the exhaust system. It looks really, really good, very muscular, very angular, very, very sporty. I love how the roof line comes down here. We've got this spoiler here. It's just a very, very good looking car, especially in this matte color. Here in the back of the G70 shooting brake, there's a lot more space than the Saloon, and that's to be expected because this is a longer car with a longer wheelbase. You can see here, I've got tons of space for my knees. I've got space above my head, quite substantial space, much more than I had with the G70 Saloon. I'm about 178 for reference, and there's just a lot more space back here. We've got a very nice Alcantara headliner. We've got this beautiful sandstone grey interior, which is lovely, and this has got the quilted seats with Napa leather, so you've got the quilting on the doors as well. And this is just a much more spacious area to sit in than the other car, the G70 Saloon. We've also got these little nets here for storage. We've got a little coat hook here. We've got our grab handles, and we've got a USB charging point down there. So the back here is very nice and comfortable. These seats are comfortable. They're also heated as well, and you can turn the heating on and off quite easily from the buttons on the side of the door. So overall, much more comfortable back here than the Saloon, to be expected because the shooting brake. What about the front? In the front of the G70 shooting brake, it's very much the same as the G70 Saloon. So we've still got a really beautifully designed and very well built interior. We've got a beautiful leather steering wheel. We've got stitching on the top here. We've got soft materials which are contrast stitched and have contrast colors. We've got beautiful Napa leather seats. It's got the comfort seat pack with heated and cooled seats. So it's beautiful in here. And these seats are super comfortable. There's 12 different ways you can adjust them, including the side bolsters and the bottom leg support, thigh support. Everything is adjustable. These are super comfortable, and to be heated and cooled is very helpful, especially when it's hot in the summer, if you live in a country where it's hot in the summer. And then we've got this fantastic 10.25 inch infotainment screen. It's exactly the same as on the G70 Saloon. We've got our time, we've got our media status, and then we've got our map overview where we are and the weather where we are. And then we can swipe to the side and we can go into Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. And we've got Android Auto here, and I can very happily go between the settings. I can go to music, I can go to maps, see my location, go to my various apps. Nice and simple and easy, as you'd expect. With CarPlay, it's full screen as well. A fantastic 360 surround camera system, which is really helpful when parking so you don't curb your fantastic alloys. So here is a 360 overview of where we are. You can see behind the car, you can see the wheels at the side of the car. And if I put the car into drive forwards, then you can see the front as well. And our front wheels, and I can turn the wheels and the wheels will turn. This is a very good system, and I like it a lot, and that's with us overview overhead. So this is a great system. And then we have all these buttons. Now in my EQS review, I complained there were too many buttons. In my Lucid review, there were just the right amount of buttons. And I have to be honest, I think this is just the right amount of buttons here. These are the controls which you really need, the climate controls. We've got our heated and cooled seats that I've already mentioned, and you can adjust the temperature by turning the knob here and adjust the fan speed by turning it here. And we've got individual left and right sides, and you can sync them as well. Underneath that, we have wireless charging. We've got a USB type A standard, and we've got a 12-volt cigarette charger, so you can plug whatever you want into there. We've got a beautifully appointed gear shifter, even though this is an 8-speed automatic, which you can just move between reverse, neutral and drive. And we've got a button for parking. We've got our drive modes here with a camera button and an electronic parking brake. We've got 2 cup holders, which are very handy, and we've got a small cubby space here, also with another USB type A that you can plug in your phone and charge it. Now in front of me, we've got this 12.3 inch digital driver display, which is also glasses free 3D, which means that the dials look 3-dimensional, the information can be multi-layered, and it's a very cool way of showing information. And only Mercedes have done that in the EQS on their top end model so far. So Genesis are the first to bring that feature to cars, and it's really cool. You can of course turn it off if you want to in the settings, but it doesn't strain my eyes, and I think it looks very good, and it's very useful actually. So I really like that. So that's really cool of Genesis to do that. There is 2 cameras underneath it here, right here, looks a bit like a webcam actually, which scans your eyes so it can adjust the positioning of the 3D, which again is a very clever bit of technology. The steering wheel itself, we got volume buttons, we've got the ability to control the adaptive cruise control and lane assist, which this car has, which I'll talk about when I'm driving the car. And it's just a very, very comfortable, very, very nice, high quality premium car to be in. And at the price of this car, which is about £50,000, starting around 40,000 for the petrol and even less for the diesel version for this, the Shooting Brake, these cars are fantastic value. So the first thing you'll notice about this car is it feels a lot more sporty and dynamic than a saloon, which you might find a bit strange. And to be fair, if you think about it, it doesn't make much sense because this is a bigger, longer, heavier car. Why would it feel more dynamic? But actually, I've seen this before with the Coupe Leon Estate when I compared that to the hatchback. And actually, I found the car that was the Shooting Brake to be more dynamic and better to drive, and it's the same here. Now, this does have a different engine to the G70 saloon that I was driving. That was the diesel with 197 horsepower engine with over 400 Newton meters. This is the petrol plus version with 241 horsepower and over 300 Newton meters of torque. So not as much torque as the diesel, but more power, substantially more powerful. And you can definitely feel it when driving this car. You can feel the extra power when you're driving, you can feel the extra dynamism when you're turning, when you're steering, when you're going around corners. So this Shooting Brake is the more dynamic between this and the saloon, in my opinion, based on how I've been driving it. And then when you think about this car as a package, then you have to say this is a fantastic package, because not only do you have more space in the back, more space in the boot, not only do you have a more dynamic ride, in my opinion, than the saloon, but also you've got the same amazing, beautiful looks on the outside. This matte paint at around £775 is fantastic value compared to German competitors. You've got the same beautiful interior. You've got the same super comfortable seats, which I love these seats. They're so comfortable. You've got the same technology in this car. We've got all the driver assistance technology, highway driver assistant, which can adjust the speed of the adaptive cruise control on the motorway. You've got our blind spot camera, which when I indicate left or right, like now, it will show me on the driver's dashboard here what's in my blind spot, and likewise on the other side it will do the same thing and show me here. So I love that. That's a fantastic feature that Genesis have put into this car. You've got this fantastic steering wheel, you've got these 3D dials. This is just a very, very good car all around. This gets really high marks in every single place it can, and it really puts Genesis on the map as a direct competitor to those German companies that everybody wants to compare themselves with, especially when you consider, and no disrespect intended towards any of them because I love all their cars, but the build quality in this car is nicer and feels better than the latest Audi RS3. This is a fact. I'm in this car. This is a nicer car for less money than the RS3. The new one, the 2022 RS3 from Audi. This car is, as a package, a fantastic, fantastic package. And then we've got some really, really obviously easy to understand driver modes. So right now I'm sitting in comfort. We go to eco. So when we go to eco, we get the dials. They're of course 3D, and then they get even more 3D in eco mode, which I really love the look of. But then when you put it into comfort, you can feel the car is just a bit more responsive than eco because it's giving you slightly less good miles per gallon, but it's giving you slightly more smooth a ride in terms of acceleration and performance. But then when you go into sports, you immediately can hear the exhaust opens up, the car gets louder, the car is more responsive in every way. There is a noticeable difference in the performance and also in the sound coming from the exhaust. This is fantastic to hear that noise, and it's a noise coming from outside the car, not from inside the car, which is also a great thing to hear that you are hearing a genuine noise that comes from outside the car and isn't pumped into the car artificially, which I really, really do not like when they do that. This car has that performance, it has that fantastic ability to be great to drive, to be comfortable. Oh, and the other thing too is if we put it into Sports Plus mode, and I'm going to leave it in here for like a second or so because it's a horrible rainy day, but Sports Plus mode turns off the traction control. So you don't have to go searching through the settings or look for the button with traction control. With Sports Plus, when you want more performance and you want to maybe take it onto the track and turn off your traction control, just tap it into that mode and traction control is off and the car is responding and everything is just working just as you want it. Nice and simple and easy to understand. Overall, this car is a fantastic package of comfort, style, technology, performance, and fantastic value as well. This is a fantastic car. I can't recommend it enough. When you add in the 5-year care plan, which means that if you need a service or warranty, it's included, you have to say that you can't beat right now maybe what Genesis is offering in terms of a package of quality of car and services. So well done to Genesis. This is a really compelling package and one which I really, really like. So what do I think of this car? Well, just like the Genesis G70 Saloon I did a video on, this car is fantastic to look at. It's got all the latest technology. It's got a fantastic interior. It's really, really easy to drive, and everyone looks at it everywhere it goes. It's an eye catcher, it's a fun car, it's a safe car, it's a high-tech car, and I really, really like it. You should check one of these out. What is my tech in the car rating for this Genesis G70 shooting brake? Comfort, it gets 4 out of 5. For connectivity, 5 out of 5. Parking, 4 out of 5. For economy, it gets 2 out of 5. It is a petrol engine. And then driving systems, 5 out of 5. It's got all the latest driving technology. Value, I give it 4 out of 5 for a total of 24 out of 30. Don't forget, all cars come with a 5-year care plan, which includes warranty, servicing, roadside assistance, digital updates, and a courtesy car. Hope you enjoyed this video on tech in the car. There's more on all of the Genesis models, the G70 Saloon, the shooting brake, which is what this is, the GV80, the G80 Saloon, and the GV80, all on the channel. So if you haven't watched those videos, please check them out. Give me a like and subscribe, and thank you very much.